25, but from fiscal year 24 to 25, you will see a stark decrease. That is primarily in our current expense category. That's due to report timing. When we get certain transactions that are posted for our facilities and their operations, they post in different periods depending on other agencies. So all of that results in a healthy net profit position to transfer back to the general fund of $18.6 million. It's a good position for us to be in a steady, stable place month over month. I do want to point out that during the last month, we were able to generate $87,989 for the Pamela Atkinson Homelessness Fund due to the Roundup program that was initiated in the store. So a big thank you to our store personnel who continue to ask those questions, and we're seeing those dollars come in to help those needy in our community.
Thank you very much, Mr. Darrington. Todd, Mr. Darrington is probably your father, right?
It is.
Right. But do you have the commissioners have any questions? Commissioner Tenner, please.
Thank you. And thank you, as always, Mr. Darrington, for the really excellent reporting. And we really appreciate, how you show us the information. It's easy to, or relatively easy to consume. Just kind of a nerdy question, because I have to ask it. How do you track the revenue for Pamela Atkinson Homeless Trust Fund? Is that showing up in the retail sales or in other income or somewhere else?
Yes, it's part of the retail sales. At the transaction, it's a Roundup particular classification. So it's part of that. And then we back it out just like we would with our markups that get sent to school lunch or public safety. It's part of those initial sales numbers and then get backed out of the total to produce our net profit to the general fund transfer.
Perfect. Thank you. And nerdy, but then on that point, but then maybe not so nerdy. And on a related note, I do want to just express appreciation for the team making that Roundup possible. It's a really nice, convenient way for like the consumer. I'm gonna put my little consumer hat on now. It's a convenient way to support a very important cause. And I know that takes effort on part of the team. So thanks for making that option available to us.
Thank you for that question. Any other questions that we have? I wanted to make note of one other very nice holiday initiative that's happening in our stores that I was discussing this with Michelle, our communications director. I saw this story this week in the Standard Examiner and just mentioned this to Commissioner Orton. She didn't know this, but in our stores, each one of the stores can do their own initiative and select a local charity. The donation. So they have, and Michelle was showing me some really terrific displays that are produced for each one of the stores that want to participate. It's purely voluntary, correct, Director? And they will have a nice box there with a sign. For example, the Other Side Academy, the YCC in Ogden, St. Joseph's, the Lantern House in Ogden, Davis County Animal Shelter, Safe Harbor Crisis Center, Ogden Rescue Mission. These donations don't go through the system. They're just donations. You want to put in $1 or $2 or $20 or whatever's in your wallet, your purse to donate. But I think it's a terrific initiative. And Commissioner Orton said, I'd never heard about that, Steve. So, and that's really an awesome thing. I was told that Commissioner Owens didn't hear my little Disney joke. So,
No, sorry.
You're fine, huh? You're okay.
I can hear now, though.
You're say that when you vote, you have to say, "Yay, Mickey." No, you don't have to say that. I wanted to. The other thing here is I wanted to point out Commissioner Jacobson's awesome, ugly holiday sweater. It's really, really awesome holiday sweater for today. Happy Hanukkah, Commissioner. So I was noted that Mr. Murakami, Doug Murakami, is available to provide our update on Parents Empowered. And so, Doug, if you'd like to, we'll be happy to have your presentation now.
Great. Thanks, Chair Handy. And good morning, Commissioners. I apologize. I missed that first part of the meeting. I couldn't hear any audio. Anyhow, I'm going to deviate from my regular Parents Empowered monthly report. If I may, I'll have a full report at your January commission meeting. What I'd like to talk about is the DABS's recent winter holiday partnership to help prevent driving while intoxicated. And if I may, Chair Handy, I'd like to invite Director Clayson to also share the floor, and perhaps she wouldn't mind sharing her thoughts on the messages she spoke about and some of the takeaway messages she talked about at the press event that was held last week, along with others at the Lake Effect Bar. So if that's would be allowed.
Of course, please. Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Doug. Thank you, Chair Handy. Commission, this is an initiative, a partnership that we were able to participate in last year. It was really successful in terms of an initiative. And so we were so excited when we were asked to participate and partner with WCF Insurance and with the Department of Public Safety Utah Highway Division again this year, and to play, a small role, but a really important role in this partnership on such an important campaign. So it's the Sober Driving campaign. Again, there was a big event to sort of launch the campaign and the initiative last week. Really appreciate licensees, those folks in the hospitality industry that work really hard, obviously, to run a good business, right? And to have experiences that are memorable for their patrons and for their customers. But none of those patron experiences, great time, merriment, milestone making, all of those things are worth doing so at the peril of public safety. Or if one of those people leaves their establishment and gets in a wreck and injures themselves or injures someone else. And so every time, every day throughout the year, sober driving should be important. It should be a focus. It should be something that we're committing to, not only the hospitality industry, that I know we've got some great operators there, but also as patrons, right? We need to have a plan. We're encouraging people to have a plan. The colonel with the Utah Highway Safety Division made some remarks that I think really stuck with me. Once you start drinking alcohol, even if you just have one drink, you are impaired in your decision making after that one drink. You become impaired and your decision making is not as great as if you haven't had anything to drink, right? And so it's really important before you have that first drink, really before you leave the house or leave where you arrive at an establishment, is to know what your plan is. Are you going to get a ride share? Are you going to go home with a friend? Do you have a friend, a family member that's going to be with you, that's going to be a designated driver and be the sober driver for the evening? So we're really trying to encourage every day of the year, but especially at this time of year when we know that alcohol is a greater part of merrymaking, memory making, all of those things that make this time of year fun and special for a lot of people. Before you have that first drink, really before you arrive at a gathering, please have a plan and make sure that that plan is built on having a sober ride home. So as part of this campaign specifically, we partnered with Highway Patrol. WCF Insurance is providing $10 Uber vouchers and encouraging people who are going out to celebrate with drinks this holiday season to have a sober ride home. So they've ponied up the money, so to speak, so that patrons that are visiting establishments, if they have not made a plan for a sober ride home and find themselves needing a sober ride home, they can scan the QR code and they get a $10 voucher. And that's a way for them to get home safely, not only for themselves, but for anyone they might encounter on the roads. Our partnership, our participation in this is we were able to place some promotional materials, some window clings in our stores, so that folks throughout the state of Utah, if they happen to be in our stores buying products, they're seeing this initiative, that QR code to access all of the materials and collateral to be aware of this and to access this in our stores. So this is just a little initiative that we're hoping has a significant impact in helping everybody be safe, whether they're drinking or not, keeping our roads safe. I know Doug has queued up a quick little promotional clip that's 35 seconds. If we could play that, Joe, that would be great.
Connor's been drinking tonight. But look how well he's getting home. Because of me, I'm your rideshare.
Or your roommate, who agrees to be the designated driver in the group.
Or your mom.
Or even public transportation.
The point is, I'm your sober ride. There's endless versions of me.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course, man. But there's only one of you. So protect your drunk self and those around you. Get one of me before your party.
Because I'm always watching.
And so am I.
Connor's been drinking.
So again, this is the initiative. You may see the QR codes in some of, again, the promotional materials and advertisements if you're either at our store or if you happen to go out and are visiting establishments this holiday season. Just without belaboring it, but because it's so very important. This is a focus of ours, and I know it's a focus of many members in the hospitality industry every day of the year, but especially now. We want to see everyone have a wonderful holiday season. That's really difficult to do if you wind up with a DUI or worse, if you're involved in a tragic or even a fatal accident, either for yourself or for someone else. So we want to make sure everyone has that plan for a sober ride home and to make sure that they're enjoying responsibly. Doug, do you have anything to add?
No, other than thank you, Director Clayson, for sharing that information. Like you mentioned, Colonel Rappich mentioned a couple of interesting stats I thought I'd throw out. One, he said that Highway Safety Office and Highway Patrol have funded 240 additional DUI shifts this holiday season. And so they'll be out there, as well as 30 other law enforcement agencies will be participating in that DUI blitz. So be aware of that. And also, he said that currently, or in 2023, there were over 11,000 DUI arrests in Utah. And that equates to an average of 31 arrests per day. So it's a big problem out there. And so like you mentioned, Director Clayson, plan ahead is certainly the key. And we appreciate Director Clayson, us joining in with those partners. It's just a great thing to be involved with, and hopefully it'll make a difference. This concludes my report. Thank you.
And this concludes, well, let me say one final thing, even though I said that my last final thing was the final thing. DUIs, fatalities related to drunk driving is 100% avoidable. And so I just want to leave with that. And that is my final thought on this topic. Thank you, Chair.
Very, very timely discussion. Thank you very, very much, Doug and Director Clayson, and something we all need to be aware of and think about, and appreciate the public initiative that's going forward. I myself have been on a couple of these holiday drive-alongs with the Highway Patrol, and it's really quite an experience, left an indelible impression with me. Comments from commissioners? Commissioner Orton, please.
So do we have the ability to, are our licensees able to get some sort of, I don't know, something to put up by the door with the QR code, or do they need to make that themselves? Do we provide it for them?
So Commissioner, this really wouldn't be possible without WCF Insurance. Again, they've made the seed investment for this. I know that they have made that collateral, all of that promotional material available. So the answer to that is yes.
Yep. I just wanted to make sure our licensees who are listening today would know how to get their hands on, because I think that is such a great service for the entire. Thank you.
Comments? Seeing none, we thank you very much and wish you well, Doug, and get feeling better. Thank you very much. We're now ready for item number 6, our operations update from Director Clayson and the Deputy Director Kate Meyer.
Thank you, Chair Handy. Really 2 things to update you on. One of the ones I planned on was what we've just discussed with the sober driving campaign. Also wanted to update you all on the store's donation drives, which you teed up wonderfully for me, Chair Handy, and even brought brought an article to reference. So you had some props. So that's always good. I was excited about how excited our teams were last year with this initiative. And I really need to thank the governor. The governor and his administration has really had a focus on service and volunteerism. And obviously, you know, that's everyone's own personal choice and ability, right, to prioritize that the way they want to. But he's worked really hard to try to help create a culture and environment for us to think about and to prioritize service where we can professionally. And so he even has issued an executive order on volunteerism and service. And so this was bred out of that initiative, that attempt to sort of create this culture by the governor last year. I was so proud of our store staff for how they took ownership of this. And so this year, when we were close to the holidays rolling around and we were being asked, hey, are we going to do this again? Do we get to do this again? That was a really exciting thing to see because it seems that they enjoyed it. They took ownership of the project. Commissioner Orton, you were mentioning you hadn't heard about it, but just to kind of hit home, every store can choose where they want to donate. And we have a list of where those donations are going. But, some stores have chosen pet shelters. Some stores have chosen food shelters, a whole variety of nonprofits that will be benefited. We have people that are already going into stores, right, to shop, and they maybe go in once a week or even more frequently to make those purchases. And so it's convenient. It's also a way for the stores to get behind an initiative. And from a morale perspective, that's always a great thing to be a part of. The other tidbit that I think is really helpful to know, and a thing I'm really proud about with this initiative, is this will go beyond the holidays. These needs exist for all of these charities and organizations all year round, right? Just like how we should all be focusing on responsibility all year round. Same thing with these needs. And so this will be collections will continue through, I believe, the end of January into early February, because again, we know that those needs exist year round or longer than just a 2-week holiday period. And so again, I just want to take an opportunity to thank our store employees who have really worked to get this up and running. Val, who is our division director, for getting this up and running. And to let anyone that's listening here, any commissioners know, when you head into your local store, if you want to look for that box and between now and February, bring something to contribute, you're able to do that. Do you have any questions about the store donations drive? I have one other update, but just wanted to give an opportunity to ask a question about that.
C&E Director, please continue.
Great. Actually, I wanted to kick it over to Kate. He's going to talk about our package agencies, specifically our type 2 and 3s. Kate?
Thank you. I think you mentioned this, but we're not accepting monetary donations for those collections. It's just the goods that we're collecting at the time. So the coats, the non-perishable food, just wanted to mention that. Next month, we will start between January 10th and March 10th, taking applications for package agency renewal of those contracts. So we'll be looking for types 2 and 3 package agency contracts that will start. This is for a total of 3 years. So if you remember, last time we began the 3-year PA contract cycle to be inclusive and responsive to competitive marketplaces. So we'll be starting that next month. Currently, the staff is working on developing our website where you'll be able to go and find other materials that can provide more information about managing a package agency and learn how to apply. So real quick, the dates for the applications will be accepted from January 10th to March 10th of 2025. Any questions on that? Okay, great. Thank you.
Seeing none, we appreciate that. Thank you for the clarification on the store donations. I misspoke. I thought it was some cash. No, it's in-kind donation. Thank you for clarifying that. Now we're going to move to Sam McHenry from the Attorney General's office, who will take us through item number 7, the violation report, and then we'll have a consent calendar to consider. Go ahead,
Thank you,
Sam.
Chair Handy. We have 13 items on today's consent calendar. All have settlement agreements in place, ready for commission action, and they will be taken as a block with one vote unless any of the commissioners would like to talk about any of the cases. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. We've had this information in our packets for several days and have had an opportunity to review that and have had the opportunity for discussion in the two subcommittees, operations and compliance. And I'm asking the commissioners if they have any questions. Seeing none, we can now proceed to a vote. I would like to ask for a motion to approve the consent calendar and then a second. Commissioner Jacobson on the motion to approve. A second, please, Commissioner. Second, Commissioner Wharton. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All in favor say aye. Oh, no, wait, we have to have a roll call. Right? All right, go ahead, Vicky. Sorry. And you're excused from that, Commissioner Owen. Just do whatever you want to do.
Commissioner Owens,
Aye.
Commissioner Orton, Commissioner Jacobson, Commissioner Tenner, Chair Handy.
Aye. That is approved unanimously. Item number 7 on the consent calendar. Now we have item number 8. We'll turn now to again to our director, Tiffany Clayson, for the licensee recognitions.
Thank you, Chair Handy. Commissioners, in your packets and in your materials, you'll find for November 2024 that we have 77 licensees listed that successfully passed their public safety inspections. Again, this is, an initiative, something that we've been working to do for the last couple of years as our way of, after you all vote and kind of deal with folks that have had violations. It's an opportunity to recognize licensees who are working really hard to have sound and safe operations, especially related to making sure that they're not selling to minors. And so again, geographically, you'll see a whole host and variety of license types. And we've got, some activity in Layton and Riverdale and Roy, all the way into Heber and Farmington, Marriott Slaterville. And so again, we are very appreciative of every operator that's working day in and day out to keep their patrons and our public safe. So thank you. And thank you, commissioners, for prioritizing this and letting us take just a few brief minutes to make these recognitions happen at these meetings. Thank you.
It's a very, very important. I appreciate that very much. We all appreciate that very much. I think the other commissioners have had the experience, and I have to have one time going Greg to establishment, and I was really impressed with the operator and how they just, we do not want to have violations. We have all these safeguards in place to ensure that we're operating within the law. So thank you for that. Any other comments from commissioners? Seeing none, we'll then move on to item number 9. Jeremy, please. This is the January 2025 license renewal reminders.
Thank you, Chair. Just a quick reminder for the world out there, and if you're in the building today, the January 2025 license renewal will start January 1 to January 31st, 2025. And they're specifically for restaurant beer only license, off-premise beer retailer state license, so convenience stores, supermarkets, on-premise beer retailer recreational amenity, and on-premise beer retailer, which is a tavern. Those 4 license types will be in renewal starting January 1. Shall I continue?
Thank you very much. Let's go ahead and go to unless there are questions from commissioners. Seeing none, well, let's let you now move to the item 10, the consent agenda.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you again. So in this consent agenda, we've included the prior meeting's minutes and some, but not all, license and permit applications. We've also included the November renewal campaign results showing that 316 records meet statutory requirements for renewal, and 16 records have elected not to renew for a sundry of reasons. The type of applications in the consent agenda include off-premise beer retailer, special use permit, hotel sublicense, restaurant limited service, and restaurant beer only. A special note, we are striking item D, on-premise banquet, from the consent agenda because the application is not ready for commission consideration. The consent agenda does not include full-service restaurant or bar establishment applicants. These license types have historically had license scarcity, and given the likely need for additional discussion amongst yourselves and the applicants, those will be heard at a separate time. It's important to note that all of the applications for your approval on this consent agenda have been processed, vetted, and found to have met all statutory requirements. You as a commission have the preparation materials on their businesses and relevant requirements and have reviewed the materials and had the opportunity to ask staff questions. If there are no additional questions from commissioners, I will turn it back to you.
We do have Commissioner Orton with a question, please. She's ready. She's
Ready to
ready
go.
to, she's ready to move forward.
That agenda.
Yeah, this, and we're striking item D, and the approval includes the approval of the minutes, correct? Thank you. A second, please. Commissioner Tanner, thank you very much. All in favor? Well, roll call vote, please. Vicky, please.
Commissioner Owens,
Aye.
Commissioner Orton.
Aye.
Commissioner Jacobson, Commissioner Tenner, Chair Handy.
Aye. That item number 10, the consent agenda passes unanimously. We'll now move to item number 11 on our agenda today, license applications, consideration items. Rob Hanson will now present to us.
Morning, commissioners. For the bar establishments, the first one we have is a change of ownership. This is About Time Pub and Grub in West Valley. This application is complete with statutory requirements. The violation was back in 2023.
Right, very good. Any other questions for Rob? We'll take this item now. The license change of ownerships require a motion for approval and a second. That motion, sir? Thank you. And a second, please. Commissioner Tanner. She made the, there's the second for that. So now we're on the license change of ownerships, the About Time Pub and Grub West Valley City, and roll call vote, please, Vicky.
Commissioner Owens,
Aye.
Commissioner Orton, Commissioner Jacobson, Commissioner Tenner, Chair Handy.
This is unanimously. Rob, would you please continue with the other applicants?
So we have 7 full-year bar licenses available. We have 3 applicants here today. The first one is 11 Nightclub in Salt Lake. This is conditional. They're projected to open in January 10th. We have Quito's Brewing in Salt Lake City. It's conditional. They're projected to open January 28th. And then we have Snow Mo Bar in Salt Lake. It's conditional, projected to open January 1st. And they are also surrendering a full restaurant license upon receipt of this bar license.
So the Snowmo Bar, they will discontinue full service restaurant service, or they just don't want to offer.
They will surrender the restaurant and just be a bar premise.
Okay. Other questions from commissioners, please? Commissioner Jacobson.
They have been closed, correct? Sorry,
They're on a staff closure.
they're on a closure for the restaurant, yes.
It's been on a small period. I mean, it's been the period of time that only the staff can do, right? I mean, so far.
Right.
I just don't recall seeing them long-term closure. Thank you.
Chair Orton.
So I note that all 3 of these applicants are conditional. And, you know, we started approving conditional licenses fairly,
February.
yeah, yeah. So with that in mind, can you tell us how many, do you know how many licenses or licensees we have who are still closed and not open after receiving their license?
So there are 12 bar conditional licenses that have been issued that have not opened yet. These three would make 15.
How many bar licenses do we have available right now?
7 right now. We give these three away, we'll have 4. And the next one we get for population increase will be March.
So we will only have 3 bar licenses available until March. 4. So we'll have 4 available until March, and then we will have approximately 50, depending on who opens when, about 15 bar licenses that are just being held by unopened bars.
15 that have been issued that they're just not open. That's exactly right.
Do you have an idea of any of these 50, well, and that of course includes the 3 for today. So do you have any idea about how many of those might be opening in the next month?
3 that have, it's always like construction delays. That's the big reason is construction.
I appreciate your help.
Commissioner Jacobson, please.
I follow up, Commissioner Orton, on what you're. I would like, I'd like to see a list sometime. So see how many licenses. I've been. I think that's get to be kind of an issue. I mean, I thank Commissioner Orton for raising that issue because I think that's a part of what we have.
Spreadsheet I can share with you of the conditional licenses.
Let's do that offline. We're send it to me or something.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. I appreciate that.
Other questions from commissioners? This is an important discussion. It is an area of concern for us. Thank you for raising it, Commissioner Orton and Commissioner Jacobson. We'll now proceed.
Sorry, can I ask a question?
Commissioner Owens, please.
When they are approved in their conditional, how long do they have to open, or is there not a time frame? Since I'm new,
It's
sorry.
soft in your, did you hear her, Rob?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Here it comes. Here it comes. Thank you.
So the question was, how long do they have that they can be conditional? And that is 18 months. And then to go past 18 months, I'd have to go before the commission. And then the commission can extend that another 6 months. So it could be a total of 2 years.
Thank you.
Commissioner Owens, did that answer your question?
Yes, thanks, Chair Handy.
Thank you. Very well. Thank you, Rob. Are we now ready to proceed to a motion and to a vote?
I'm gonna do something I'm probably not allowed to do by state statute, but I'd like to move that we approve item number 1. So number 3, snowmobile bar.
It is seconded. Any discussion now, please, based upon that motion? Please, sir.
Moving on these 2 because they appear to be ready to open within the period between now and our next commission meeting. Looking at number 2 would be ready to open, I believe, after our next commission meeting. Actually, March 30th. Okay, I'm sorry, but I apologize. Can I withdraw my motion and make a motion to approve all 3?
They do that, sir. And the second is the second. Follow along with that clarification. Thank you for that clarification. Thank you, everyone. All right, we have now on the table a motion to approve the all other applicants, 11 Nightclub, Keto's Brewing, Snowmobile Bar. We'll now and have a second. We'll proceed to a roll call vote.
Commissioner Owens,
Aye.
Commissioner Orton, Commissioner Jacobson.
Aye.
Commissioner Tenor. Chair Handy.
Greg, if you'd like to now come forward, we'll consider the restaurant full service. We have some change of ownerships and some ready to operate applicants, and the time is now yours, sir.
Thank you, Chair Handy. Morning, Commissioners. For our restaurant full service licenses, we have two items that are listed for a change of ownership. That is Richie Lush's Tennessee Barbecue in Park City and Porch Restaurant in South Jordan. They meet statutory requirements, although number 2 is conditional just for that business license.
Questions to Craig on these items, the change of ownership on the restaurant full service? Seeing none, we'll proceed to for a motion, please. Thank you, Commissioner Orton. A second, please. Commissioner Jacobson, a second. Thank you very much. We'll now proceed to a roll call vote, please, Vicki.
Commissioner Owens.
Aye.
Commissioner Orton. Commissioner Jacobson. Commissioner Tenor. Chair Handy.
Those are approved as presented. Now we will proceed, Craig, to the ready to operate applicants.
So for our new applications, I do want to point out under all other applicants, item number 1 is going to be stricken.
Continental.
Yeah. Application just is not quite ready.
The Continental.
You have 2 applicants that are ready to operate. We do have 69 year-round licenses available to issue this month. For our ready to operate applicants, we have Don Miguel's in Cedar City and Heber Hub in Heber City. I do want to note that Heber Hub will be surrendering their restaurant limited service license upon approval for the full license.
Any questions for Craig on these 2 items? Seeing none, we'll now proceed to a motion for these 2 items, the ready to operate.
Sorry. So we were.
Just talking among yourselves. You're wishing you were in Disneyland with Commissioner Owens, right? And not here.
Exactly. We are really challenged. Yep.
Okay, Commissioner Jacobson, we have a motion from you in a second. Commissioner Owens. Thank you very much. Thank you. Please ask now. Yes.
So, along the same line, I know we are not in a place, we aren't currently in a place of, being short of licenses on our full restaurant licenses. However, we have in the last year and a half, had times when we had 20 restaurant applications, and moving into the spring when those applications tend to pick up a little bit more. I just want to go back to what we were discussing with Rob earlier on bars. With full restaurant licenses, are you able to tell us how many we currently have available? And how many are not open? How many full restaurant licensees we have reported since February are not currently open?
Yeah, certainly. So we do have 69 licenses available. Currently across the state, there are 20 restaurant full services licenses that are still conditional, that are not operating with that license. I can tell you that of those 20 that are conditional, we have approximately 6 that are close, just pending a final inspection and or issuance of the business license from the municipality.
So we would expect that they would be open within, say, the next month.
Yes.
Yes. That's good news. Yeah, we were just noting that we do have, even though we're not in scarcity right now, that happens very quickly, as we have learned. And we do have 2 applicants who we are going to go ahead and approve today, I would assume, who are going to be conditional, but aren't even expecting to open until February. So just wanted to get that on the record so that we're all clear about the situation we have currently with approving conditional licensees.
Thank you for those comments, please. Mr. Jacobson, sir.
I actually kind of looked at this the other day. It's interesting. We had gotten really low. And this is one of the higher points that since I've been on the commission, how many restaurant licenses we had. I heard with concern, fellow commissioner, but I find it kind of interesting that this one is expanded in terms of number available. Yet the bar license is completely back down to that. So I don't know if we're looking at it. So as we don't have a lot of licenses, and restaurant licenses were very, very quick. That's how we got from the point before we were at 50 down, very close to zero. So unless the staff has something that can help us look at what the future is, I think we need to not feel like all of a sudden really healthy. That's one reason I question the Rob continues to really have to watch what we have because our legislature has only given us a limited number of licenses, even though every year they seem to throw a couple so our way.
Comments? I think we should now proceed to a motion on the ready to operate applicants. Motion from Commissioner Tennant and a second, please. Or second for Commissioner Orton. We'll have a roll call vote now, Vicky, please.
Commissioner Owens,
Aye.
Commissioner Orton, Commissioner Jacobson, Commissioner Tenner, Chair Handy.
Aye. That those two are approved, Don Miguel's and Hubert Hub. Now all other applicants, please, Craig.
So for our all other applicants, so we have 5 applicants here on the agenda, starting with item number 2, Cody's Gastro Garage. It's conditional. Backspin Bistro in St. George, also conditional. Cosmica LLC in Salt Lake City is conditional. Lucky Slice Pizza in Logan, conditional. Hash Kitchen, Salt Lake City, is conditional. They are conditional, although they do meet the statutory requirements.
Questions, please. Commissioner Orton, please. You're ready to make any other questions? Okay, we'll move to a motion noting that we're striking item number 1 in the comment.
So noting that we are striking number 1, oh no, not 1. You're approving 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Second, please. Second. Commissioner Jacobson, thank you very much. We'll now move to proceed to a roll call vote, please, Vicky.
Commissioner Owens,
Aye.
Commissioner Orton, Commissioner Jacobson, Commissioner Tenner, Chair Handy.
Craig. We're now at item number 12, and we would invite anyone comments from the commissioners. Any commissioners, any comments? And then from the public. Commissioners, any comments? Commissioner Orton, please.
2 numbers that really struck me today during the meeting, and I just wanted to point them out again, not to belabor either issue, but I found the amount of money that our customers are donating to the Pamela Atkinson Homeless Trust Fund to be extraordinary. I mean, almost $88,000 in what, a month? So that's extraordinary. And then the other,
I just wanted to point out, the program wasn't actually live through all of November. It actually was just about a week and a half, and we generated that much. So an even more impressive total when you take that context.
so so that doesn't even include December. So it's really, I mean, it's extraordinary. And so I just wanted to thank our customers for doing this. It's great. And then the other number that really struck me was the 11,000 DUIs in 2020. That was a shocking number to me. Oh, yeah, yeah. So I just wanted to, just point out those two numbers to everyone here and just say, you know, congrats to everyone who has been doing such an extraordinary job, the homeless trust fund. And wow. We really need to do better.
Seeing no other commission comments, we'll now proceed to public comments. We have some folks who have signed up, and if you'd like to come forward, Mr. Brown, you're first on the list, sir. If you'd like to state your name and your affiliation, we'd be pleased to hear from you. Couple 2 or 3 minutes, you know.
President of Mothers Against Drunk Drive. Private. Associated with right. When you're underage, you're gonna drive. You drive where there's substantial crash risk. That's what worries me. But that's what worries me about them, because when they leave the bars, they are going to drive. When you are 21 to 34, you're at about a 200 crash risk of 0.15, which is about the average we arrest. 200 times the crash risk on the road. For a person under 21, it's 490 times the crash risk. So when you see the highway patrol pick up a 19-year-old driving, he is at the crash risk. And another thing you should know is that about 80% of those who die in DUI crashes are the alcohol driver and the friends that drive with them. The other times they do get me and other people, but I'm telling you, it's the patrons that drive that are really being killed across, the spectrum. So it's really important that we do that. The other thing I thank you for that, Sugar House. The other thing I want to say at 11 o'clock today, the community of West Jordan and the Department of Transportation is installing a very large sign at 90th South called the Eli Mitchell Way. And that's the sign in commemoration of that little youngster who was crossing just a quick review, across the sidewalk, walking his bike, had his helmet, going to the store near his neighborhood. And a person came out of the bar and ran over him, hit his bike, and then continued on and ran over him and crushed him, and then went down the road, stopped his pickup, threw his bike off and went on home. So it's so disturbed this community, and it should disturb the community about what happened. So they've named this way after him, the Eli Mitchell Way. But it brings me to the point of, I just want to say that there's a couple of parts to this thing. One is to hold people accountable for what they do in the ABS establishment. This is my 24th year. Nothing's changed in this regard. We're still leaving bars and killing people. And my grandson was killed 24 years ago. It's the same story, and Matt's full of those kinds of people. But there's the other part that I think is really, really important. And to hold them accountable, we really need to have the video evidence in the bars. So I think that's something we'd like to see addressed that needs to be addressed. But the other very important thing that I want to say, once the glass goes on the floor from a crash, like Tiffany said, you can't really truly put it back together. It can't be done. We've toughened up. They're going to spend a lot more time in prison, but that's one issue, holding people accountable. I want to tell you the bigger issue is we got to stop the glass in prevention. And that's why your campaign is so important, to be sober and a sober driver. And let me address you, Commissioner Orton. You might have 11,000 arrests, but you got over 1 million drunk driving trips a year in Utah. And maybe that's 2,800 a day. And you have the capability to arrest how many? How many did they say? 31. That's it. We all drive the same roads. Welcome. And until we get the public to understand, everybody, that if you don't drink and drive, we have spent billions in this country on this thing. And limit 5 is not the only law. You can be taken off the street for any impairment whatsoever. If you're impaired, you're coming off the road, you're arrested, and then they administer the chemical test. So it's really important that everybody that we can talk to and make sure we understand, because we'll never arrest our way out of this. We'll never put people in jail and prison, because there is no winners in a DUI crash, right? You think it's nice to sit in prison for 10 years or 5 years? But you know, there's 2 prisons. I can tell you, they write me. They can get out of prison. The second prison is from killing that boy in the crosswalk. And the thing that that's why I say your sober campaign, we must stay on it. We must hold them accountable with videos. But the last thing that really bothers me, some of the most, about the Eli Mitchell case, his father is across the street. Stay with me. He sees this commotion in the intersection there on 90th South. He walks over to see what's going on, and they tell him that his son has just been put in the ambulance and taken away. Yeah. Can you just imagine that? That's why I want to underscore and thank you for your sober. I mean, sober doesn't mean under 05. It means no drinks. You're impaired the first drink. Everyone knows that. And till we come together as a community and decide to embrace that, just go there, like Speaker Handy said, at the DUI Blitz and ride along. I'm telling you, we don't have the resources. And the catch rate is so low, everybody knows that. The drunks got it. And those DUI people that risk every single night, you don't think it's risk-free to stop a drunk driver? Do you think Colonel Rapids is excited to hear of a wrong way driver on I-15, which are mostly impaired? There is going to be a crash. You'll either kill somebody, or the highway patrolman has to take them head on and has to make that decision at high speed. And they do it every single year. So we really have to really get after our prevention and stop the glass from hitting the road. Thank you.
Mr. Brown, thank you so much for addressing us. We appreciate it very much. Any others who would like to address the commission this morning? Please.
And I apologize to Vicki for not signing up before, but I, first of all, thank you, Mr. Brown, and I wanted to, I'm sorry, Tanner Leonard, an attorney for a lot of licensees. And I just wanted to first say, to Mr. Brown's point, we're going to get the QR code from that insurance company. I'm going to share that with all my clients and all my social media followers, and hopefully really get that out there. The comment that I wanted to make was reminded to me when I saw all of the renewals that were approved. Thank you so much for doing that. I assist my clients in getting applications in, and I had recently seen the fees, the application fees have changed. And it's because of a new law that went into effect that is prorating these application fees. And that was a new law that the legislature made that is having a positive impact on hospitality. I've had clients who have put off getting their license in the past because we would have them do the thousands of dollars fee and then have to turn around a week later and pay the exact same in their renewal fee. So we don't often here get to say thank you. And I wanted to say thank you for, I know you guys don't make the laws, but again, putting it on the record, the prorating of the application fees has been very helpful.
Thank you, Tanner, for your perspective. Any others who would like to address the commission? Please, sir, like to come forward and state your name and your affiliation. About a couple, 2 or 3 minutes, please.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
I was not expecting to talk. This was like last week. I've been a licensee.
Your name, please, sir.
Duvan Botero. I am with Club Caramba in Sugar House. I just got 11 nightclub pass for a conditional today, so thank you so much. It will be my second license in the state of Utah. I just have a concern that I want to voice out. I've had this concern for months. And I think it's time that someone, maybe no one has had this opportunity, but I want to bring it up. I've been a licensee with bar licenses and nightclub licenses, even at the time when we had the private club for members, a long time ago, since 1999. So it's been, what, 25 years. I've had a license in the state of Utah. We truly appreciate the fact that the licensees have laws that we as licensees have to follow. As for example, locking the liquor at 1 a.m. or not selling any more liquor after 1 a.m. And all of the things that we do to protect the public. But it has come to my attention the last few years that in my belief, in my opinion, biggest problem that we have in Utah for alcohol driving and people driving under influence is coming from illegal parties that are happening after 2 o'clock in the morning, after 1 o'clock in the morning. This happened until 5 and 6 and 7 a.m. with hundreds of people drinking. There's no one to oversee whether there is no ID checks. People bring their own liquor, and they are massive parties bringing their own liquor. So how do you control the people that are driving under the influence at 2 o'clock in the morning when you have people bringing bottles in brown bagging and joining these parties? These people are making money. They're charging a cover fee at 3 o'clock in the morning to people. These are a lot of times on minors. So as a licensee, if I was sitting in your chair, I would be thinking, as a person, if I was sitting in your chair, I would be thinking, how are we going to regulate? Because you regulate us as licensees. And how do you regulate the non-licensees that are throwing these parties? What are you going to do? That's my comment.
Very much, sir, for that perspective. Anyone else? Seeing no one, I think it's time that we bring the meeting now to a close, our commission meeting to a close. We appreciate all of the staff members for their hard work in preparing the commissioners to be well apprised of the agenda items today. We appreciate Commissioner Owens and wish you well the rest of your vacation. We'll be thinking about you just a little bit. You'll be thinking about us, right? No. Okay.
Absolutely.
No. I want to read this final thing: to report fraud, abuse, or waste within the Department of Alcohol Beverage Services to the Office of the Internal Auditor at dabsreporting@utah.gov. With that, we wish each of you a Merry Christmas, a Happy Holiday, a Happy Hanukkah. However you are celebrating, responsibly enjoy the holiday season. Thank you, Director Clayson, for everything. I will now call for a motion for adjournment. Please, Commissioner Gordon. Move to adjourn. And a second. All in favor say aye. Enjoy your holidays. Thank you today.